Cedar Point is known for a ton of major rides and roller coasters, but not everyone who visits the park or even people in your party want to ride these major rides.
This is a complete guide for non-coaster riders, including shops, games, and more.
If you're interested in Cedar Point food, make sure to check out a video just like this one that talks about every restaurant in the park. Let's get into the video.
Located on the main Midway, right next door to Raptor, is the Jack Ulrich Theater. For you artsy folk, they have a show every year, same show, but it's shown like 4 or 5 times a day.
In 2023, the show is going to be Come See About Me, which was also played in 2022. One of the main shops when you enter Cedar Point is right under the first Sky Ride station called the CP Shop. It's home to many vintage shirts, including the very own Sky Ride shirt, and also many Gemini shirts. So for everyone that's visited the park in the past, you may want to check out some of the shirts here.
There are 3 locations throughout the park where you can test your skills in the 3-point shootout. If you get 3 3-pointers, you get a basketball.
Near most major attractions in the park, there's a Cedar Point question building. Different staff members staff these buildings, and you can ask different questions about the park, either directions or about the history of the park if you're interested in that.
Down the fairway a little bit in the main hall is the arcade. This is the ticket-based system where you can win tickets and cash those in for prizes, but there's tons of choices from virtual reality to the old school game, coin-op games like Centipede or Frogger. There's something for everyone here, and it's pretty big, pretty wide open.
One of the transportation rides in the park is the Sky Ride. This takes riders down the main Midway. It acts as a great transportation service and allows for great footage and views of the park.
Throughout the park, there are a lot of flat rides. If you don't want a major thrill like a roller coaster, check out some of these flat rides.
Right next to the arcade are 2 connected shops, Sweet Spot and Peanuts at the Point. Sweet Spot is the main candy location in the park, and they have a huge variety of different candy. And Peanuts at the Point is a strictly Snoopy Peanuts-based shop. Younger audiences will get a kick out of the Peanuts at the Point and the Sweet Spot.
The Pagoda Celebration Central store is great for coaster enthusiasts. This is where you'll find a lot of your cool models and t-shirts and things like that related to all the coasters that Cedar Point has to offer.
And even if you're a non-rider, you can still browse the great selection that Pagoda has to offer. Right next to Pagoda are 2 unique shops, the leather store and the button store. Cedar Point offers some unique options like this button store, where there's a new free button every day and collectible buttons.
In addition to the unique button store, there's this customizable airbrush t-shirt store.
After you get your airbrush t-shirt, the younger audiences will enjoy the face painting, and right next door to the face painting located around the park is usually a character stand, where you and your friends can get a custom drawing of yourselves and a funny cartoon character.
Right at the end of the main Midway is the street squat stage. There's also a couple stages throughout the park where you can catch live music, acrobatic shows, and other types of entertainment.
These include the stages located over by Iron Dragon, which is the main stage, and also the smaller stage at Backbeat Q. Similar to the Sky Ride, in the back of half of the park, there's the train, another transport ride that has unique views of the lake and the interior of the park, different views that you may not always see from the paths.
Located throughout the park is the ladder climb challenge, where you try to get to the end of the ladder without falling off. Also throughout the park is the guessing game, where they try to guess your age or your weight. If they're not within a certain value, then you win a prize.
Right outside Millennium Force's exit is a sunglasses shop, and also a shop that has a ton of Millennium Force merch.
The Red Garter Saloon is a bar and eatery themed to the Wild West. It has excellent live entertainment, good food, and drink for everybody. There's even an upper balcony for good viewing. Another unique store you'll come across is the China Works, a small antique store.
People will also get a kick out of the outhouse located on Frontier Trail. Frontier Trail is home to a bunch of little shops, and the outhouse is the first thing that you'll stumble across. Pulling the door has a person inside that will tell a joke or two.
At the far end of the Frontier Trail are pony rides, great for the little visitors.
Right next to these trail rides is the sign maker. You and your family can get custom signs made with your names or your last name to put up in your yard.
Sticking with the Frontier theme is the Fort Sandusky Mining Company shop. Inside the shop is also some cool looking rocks and gems for the young ones.
Next door to the Fort Sandusky Mining Company is a woodwork shop, with tons of different wooden crafts.
Further down the Frontier Trail is the candy shop. It has every type of candy you could want. And across the path is the candle shop, where you can get scented candles. They have many varieties of candles to choose from. Cedar Point also has a very nice barnyard. Walk right up to animals like alpacas and pigs and camels. It's actually pretty nice. It's kind of big. You could spend some time here pretty quickly.
One of the largest sections and newest sections of the park is Forbidden Frontier. Forbidden Frontier is on the Millennium Force Island, and you can spend hours here.
Yeah, it's where Dinosaurs Alive used to be, and there's tons of things to do for all ages. The obvious theming is the adventure you can have by talking with the employment actors.
The whole story is at its truce day of the two different clans. So these clans are almost working together to spy on each other. So you have to do different tasks around the area. It's almost sort of like an escape room kind of thing, but you don't have to do anything. It's optional if you talk to anyone.
Yeah, they'll give you hints, and you go talk to this guy, go find this, go do that. It's pretty fun, especially for a family. There's also a huge jungle gym area right across from the places where you can eat. And this place is usually, relatively dead compared to the rest of the park because there's only one way in and it's kind of hidden. But yeah, the jungle gym is massive.
There's also additional attractions like a rope pull and a wobbly bridge. Right by Thunder Canyon is a glass blowing shop. The main store has glasswork that was made on site, and right behind the store is a glass blowing demonstration.
Right next to Thunder Canyon is the Thunder Canyon Dry Goods Store for bathing suits, sunglasses and towels, sunscreen, things like that. Snake River Falls is also located in this location, another water ride.
The Hitchin Post is located up the exit for Maverick. This is where you can find a ton of Maverick merch and also just Frontier Town merch in general.
For all your RMC, Mean Streak, and Steel Vengeance merch, don't forget to visit the Steel Vengeance shop.
Near the entrance to Steel Vengeance and the Steel Vengeance shop is the Lusty Lil's Tavern. This is another Frontier-style show.
The Cedar Creek Trading Company and the General Store. They're right next to each other, and they offer quite a bit of options.
Right across the tracks is the Twin Arrow Acres. This is a little hint to Gemini being built by Aerodynamics and is the racing coaster, hence the name Twin Arrow Acres. It's just a little sitting area near Planet Snoopy.
Another Peanuts themed store is the Cedar Point Corner Store, located right by Snake River Expedition. Snake River Expedition is a great family boat ride. You chug along pretty slowly along the waters in Cedar Point. Well, they put on kind of a show for you with the actors kind of put on a show.
There's different wild animals along the boat ride and also bandits that'll jump on the boat. Different actors sitting in different huts that'll jump along. It's a very interesting experience. It's like a 10-minute ride.
There's a store right by the ride, formerly known as Dragster, called the Speed Zone. And I'm assuming it'll still be called the Speed Zone as we move forward. The Gatekeeper store located right as you get off the Gatekeeper exit for all your Gatekeeper merch.
Every day during the summer months is the Cedar Point 150th Spectacular. It's a parade that was meant to be for the 150th anniversary, but has since stuck around and will be continuing in 2023. It's a nice little parade. It has little references to past attractions in the park, has all the different floats, and it's like a very long parade. There are a ton of games at Cedar Point coming back down from Gatekeeper all the way up to the very front of the park. These are just typical Midway games, like the water shoot game and ring toss, throwing the ball into the bottles, knocking the bottles down. I don't really know what the games are called. You know what I'm talking about. Just a ton of carnival games. They're a little overpriced, but they're fun just to try every once in a while. And they have some pretty unique prizes, the best obviously being the Bob Ross plush.
Point Plaza is the main Cedar Point shop. Tons of stuff in here.
This is located right next to the front of the park, but don't worry, there are still a ton of activities yet to come. One of these many activities is the Cedar Point Beach. As most of you know, Cedar Point is located on the shores of Lake Erie on a peninsula. So this beach is a very long beach and provides a lot of activities. There's
tons of stuff to do. Volleyball, big Jenga, swimming.
That all happens at Cedar Point nights, which the beach stays open till 1 a.m., where you can just experience all the nightlife Cedar Point has to offer right next to the water. There's jet skis you can rent, and you can go parasailing if you want, or you can just take a chill stroll down the beach. It goes all the way down to Magnum's Turnaround, and no one ever goes down there, so if you want a relaxing walk, you can head all the way down there. There's also a small sandbar where bands perform. In addition to Cedar Point itself, there's the Cedar Point Shores Water Park down by Magnum and at the end of the beach.
It's huge. You can easily spend several days there if you wanted to. There's 2 lazy rivers, tons of thrill water slides, tons of regular water slides, wave pools.
And last but definitely not least is the hotel at Cedar Point. This hotel, Breakers, is huge. There's like 3 different wings, probably even more than that I'm forgetting about. It was just updated in 2018 with brand new rooms.
It's got a gorgeous lobby. It's several different restaurants, a Japanese restaurant, a TGI Fridays, a couple ice cream shops.
A breakfast restaurant, and it's located right on the beach.
Yes, it has an indoor pool and an outdoor pool.
It has 2 outdoor pools, actually.
One of them is a kid's pool, I think, or 1 kid's pool and 2 regular pools outdoors. There's a hot tubs.
It also has an arcade located inside with a ton of vintage games that you can't find anywhere else in the park.
Yeah, so as you're winding down the night, you and your friends and family can split up, and some hit the arcade, some hit the pool, some hit the ice cream shop. There's tons of stuff to do inside.
And you can stay in the lobby as long as you want. You don't need a room to be in the lobby, or just hanging out by the campfires along the boardwalk. That wraps up the Cedar Point Non-Coaster Rider's Guide. If you learned something or enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment what you think of Cedar Point in general, and have a great rest of your day.